Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BuzzBait podcast, your wave of something new each week. I am your host, Lara, and with me today are not Colin and Megan. It is just me today. I gave them the weekend off because they both have had rough weeks and busy schedules, so I am benevolent as I am beautiful. So we have had a very busy week in terms of news, so let's just hop right into it. I wanted to talk about the Olympics as I am recording this on 8/17, so it just recently ended, and wow, was that a busy event. The opening ceremony had a lot of controversy, so we were starting right out the gate with issues. Lots of people saw it as the Olympics poking fun or, demeaning Christians and Christianity. I personally didn't see it like that because I don't know. I'm not Christian. I'm not religious, so I'm not someone who is constantly thinking about stuff like that or looking at stuff through a religious lens at all. So like with people were saying the Last Supper, that was the big, that was the big controversy that I saw personally. I know there was also something about like the horse of death or death riding on a horse. I mean, again, I'm not religious. I'm not looking at things through a lens like that. I'm not looking for, correlations to Jesus, to the Bible, to things like that. It's just, that's just not how I look at it. The Last Supper depiction, I guess, I could potentially see it, but, I mean, didn't Christianity take a lot of inspiration from Greek culture and other worldly cultures, right? Like, this is not me saying that your culture or your religion isn't real or anything like that. If you believe it, you believe it. I just don't. The Olympics did send out a apology to Americans and other followers of the Christian belief, which to a lot of Christians solidified that, they did make fun of us. And it's like, a lot of American Christians want to be persecuted against so badly, and they want to be discriminated against. But America and France, where the Olympics took place, aren't countries that persecute against Christians and against Christianity. So I guess I am at a loss for words as to why they would think and do that, but I mean, whatever. This being a news podcast, we are going to get controversial because of the news, so if you hate what I'm saying, just fucking turn me off. Next was Simone Biles' Instagram post, which I'm going to be honest, I don't really know a ton about. I'm not too educated about that. To my knowledge, it was somebody she worked with or associated with in the past made a comment, maybe like a demeaning comment about the team that she was working with, saying that they were lazy, saying that they weren't as talented as, whoever else, something like that. And, when they, of course, USA women's gymnasts, we walk away with the gold every time. It kind of makes me wonder if other countries, when, they're sending their woman gymnasts out there, are they telling them, like, hey, we're going against the USA, just shoot for second? Or are they actually telling them, like, we're gonna beat the women of America this time? Because, I mean, not to get too patriotic. So, yeah, her post garnered a lot of attention because after the USA women's gymnast team won gold, of course, she made some comment about like, oh, but we're, not talented, we're lazy, right? And the woman who made the comment, I guess, started posting about how Simone is now like, because of that post, because of the comment that was made, she's now being bullied, and it's like, well, you reap what you sow. Fucking get over it. Another thing that garnered attention in the Olympics was the Netherlands had a pedophile represent them in volleyball, which he was booed. It was like he was booed every time that he went up to play in the games. The New York Times wrote a piece on it about saying here that the Netherlands, the Dutch Olympic Committee agreed that he should stay outside the athletes' village and not talk with media, who would certainly ask about his prison sentence for raping a 12-year-old girl when he was 19. Disgusting. That is absolutely revolting, and I cannot believe that not only did this not get as much attention as what I'm about to mention, but that they let him do it. He went to prison. He was convicted of this crime, of this horrific crime. And the Netherlands and the Dutch Volleyball Federation and Olympic Committee was just like, yeah, send him out there. The New York Times continued in the article to say that he was sentenced to 4 years in prison in 2016 after that he admitted that he took a flight to go have sex with this girl and was caught trying to buy her the morning after pill. In the same article, it also says that he served 13 months in prison, including 12 months in Britain, before he transferred to the Netherlands and was resentenced to a shorter term under Dutch law. After he came out of jail, he gave an interview which said that he was branded as a sex monster, as a pedophile, that he says he's not. Well, girl, I have news for you. You fucking are, and you're a creep. I say girl, it's a guy. Whoopsie. Now, onto the big controversy was the female boxing quote-unquote incident. If you were online at any time of the Olympics happening, you have probably heard of Armani boxer, I'm going to butcher her name probably, and I'm so sorry, Amain Khalif, was accused of being a man because there was a lot of misinformation going around at this time, but she was born with X and Y chromosomes. If I'm spitting some misinformation, please leave a comment and let me know. But to my knowledge, she was born with X and Y chromosomes, thus giving her slightly more testosterone in her body, thus giving her an athletic advantage. But, I mean, to go to the Olympics, don't you have to be somebody who has an athletic advantage anyways? I mean, if that's the case, why are we not, demanding Michael Phelps give all his medals that he won back because his body was shaped fucking weird, which gave him an advantage in swimming? I mean, why are we suddenly going after this girl? I just don't understand. She competed in the 2020 Olympics. The same sport, same gender, same name, everything. And no one said a fucking peep. I never heard of this woman before until this month. And I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really... Who gives a shit? She was born a woman. Her passport, all her records say that she was a lady. So... I did see recently that she is going after names like Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling, people who were spouting this hate and saying that she was, in fact, a man, and there was a man in a woman's sport beating up women for fun or whatever. And, J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, they were furthering this narrative and this hate towards the boxer. So I hope she gets every fucking penny from her lawsuit that she deserves. Now, I will say the claim that she had more testosterone in her body, I believe that was just a myth. That was just I believe the claim that she had more testosterone in her body was just more misinformation that was being spouted out against her. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that she was tested and she was never found to have more testosterone. I mean, maybe once some testing she did, but regularly it was never found. So I'm not quite sure where that claim came from. I'm pretty sure it's just because she was someone's she was born with X and Y chromosomes. That's a man. That's more testosterone. Okay, yeah, I'll fucking let her beat you up too. I don't care about it. I don't know. Guess what? She's not from the USA. She's not competing against the USA. We're here to win. I don't give a fuck. On to more positive news. Israel was booed during the Olympics. during one of their national anthems, I believe it was during soccer, the team arrived with like a bunch of police escort and like bodyguards and stuff, and when their national anthem played, like the crowd was just filled with boos. I mean, you coming from, you know, Israel or wherever, like you have to kind of expect that, especially, I mean, with what Israel has been doing is terrible and should never be happening. I don't understand. I really don't get people that are encouraging Israel and is like, their opposition deserves to die and be extinguished from the world. Like, do you hear yourself? Fucking piss off, bro. I did read here in this the AP News article that police forces have no vacation during the summer to protect Israelites and let like all their matches have heightened security. That Paris here is deployed 35,000 police officers with a peak of 45,000 during the opening ceremony. And they wrote that an additional 10,000 soldiers are taking part in security operations. That France is getting help from more than 40 countries, and I am sure that the USA is one of them. We have more than enough police to spare and give extra to the rest of the world. Anyways, at the end of the Olympics, which was August 11th, United States is first with a total of 126 medals. We blew fucking everybody else out of the water. Fuck you, go USA. Insert fucking eagle noises here. Second place is China with 91 medals. Third is Japan with 45. Fourth, Australia with 53. Hey, wait a second. That doesn't make sense. It should be third Australia. I guess because they didn't get... Well, Japan got 20 gold and Australia got 18. Wait a second. Whatever. Because France is in fifth with 64. The Netherlands is sixth with 34 medals. Great Britain, 7th with 65. Korea, 8th, South Korea, with 32 medals, 13 gold. Italy in 9th place with 40. And Germany in 10th place with 33 medals. Is there a country that got absolutely no medals? Holy shit, yeah. There's a lot of countries that did not get a single medal. Iceland is one of them. Liberia, Nepal, Nigeria, Syria didn't get one. Wow. Imagine going home to Iraq and being like, hey, or Barbados and being like, hey, I know you put a lot of money into me and I didn't get a single fucking medal. Dude, I'd be surprised if they didn't kill you. I almost didn't mention it. I kind of forgot a little bit, but another positive, a big positive, was the shooting event that took place. Oh my god. That was awesome, and I feel like people couldn't shut up about it just because it was so great and it was so awesome. I mean, you had the guy from Turkey who was certainly not an ex-hitman. I mean, he was the only one to go out there without any sort of equipment or eye gear or anything and just started fucking banging those motherfuckers. And when asked about it, he said that he just picked up shooting as like a fun thing to do with his kids. It was like after his divorce or something. Crazy. That dude definitely killed people in the past. He will probably kill again. I mean, he fucking killed it here, didn't he? There was the girl from South Korea. People were obsessed with her because they thought she was hot. I am people. There was the guy, I believe he was from France. There was the guy, he had like the Widowmaker Overwatch pose where he was sticking that fucking ass out. God damn. But yeah, the shooting event, I think overall was probably the best thing to come from this Olympics. And you know what? I do think this Olympics was quite historic. I think people are going to be talking about it for years. I mean, I couldn't tell you about the last two Summer Olympics. I don't really care for Winter Olympics at all, so I certainly couldn't tell you about anything from any Winter Olympics, really. Although there was one year I did write about I don't remember her name. I keep wanting to say Lindsay Jones, but she's from Rooster Teeth. I don't remember her name, but her first name's Lindsay, and she is a female skier, I believe. The only reason she sticks out to me is because I want to say it was 2nd or 3rd grade. My elementary school had a newspaper, and I chose to do it. I chose to write about her. I think it was like her debut or something in the Winter Olympics, and she just like fucking killed it. So in 2nd grade for a school newspaper, I wrote about it. And it got first page, bitch. Yeah, she's kind of the only, like, I guess, obviously, like, Shaun White, too. But, for Winter Olympics, they're really the only ones that stick out to me. I still don't remember her name. You know what? And it's probably going to hit me at the end of this podcast. So for now, Lindsay Jones, voice of Space Kid from Camp Camp, and, to me, Olympic gold-winning skier for the US of A. You're the only one I really pay attention to in the fucking Winter Olympics. Moving past the Olympics, a lot of movies have been coming out this year. I mean, and last year too. Just, a lot of entertainment, which is good. I don't call myself a movie buff or, like, what are they called? Like, filmophiles or whatever. I mean, I like movies. I like watching movies. I prefer film over TV shows, personally. But 2 movies this year, of course, Disney films, have joined the $1 Billion Club, and my only rebuttal to that is I'm surprised more movies haven't, because have you gone to the movies recently? It's fucking expensive as hell. The movies that joined the $1 Billion Club this year in 2024, by the way, is Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. But yeah, movies are so expensive. I'm shocked that more films aren't hitting the $1 Billion Club. So because movies are so expensive, I mean, buying a ticket, you buy one ticket for yourself, dude, that's $16. I mean, if you go to the, movie theaters that are everywhere, aka like AMC and Regal and stuff like that. I mean, even if you have I almost feel like you're forced to kind of get their apps and their movie deals or whatever they have. But even those, like, if you aren't seeing a movie every single week, they're not really worth it. Back in 2019, before COVID hit, I used to go see 1 or 2 movies about every month, if not week. Me and a friend, we would meet up and we would head to the movies. And I don't remember it being $16 back then, to be honest. It was still a little pricey, but definitely not that. So should we as critics look at the $1 Billion Club as like, these are like still now, like, are these the best movies being made? Or should we take inflation and price gouging into consideration? I don't know. I think, I see the movies that are hitting that $1 Billion Club, and it seems to be happening, much more often now than, back when the $1 Billion movies, back when, like, I'm thinking like 2014, 2017, back when $1 billion was like, a movie made this much, because now it's like Inside Out 2 joined the $1 Billion Club, and it's like no one batted an eye. Barbie hit the $1 Billion Club, nobody batted an eye. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It seems like a lower mark now than it used to be. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Something else I think about with these movies that are making, the $1 billion, are we taking the money from streams into consideration as well? I mean, these movies nowadays, I mean, remember back when a movie came out and you loved it as a kid and you had to wait like 6 to 7 months for it to come out on DVD or something, you know what I mean? These movies, it's, day 1 box office, day 2 streaming, and like next week DVD. It's crazy how fast technology is moving and advancing, and, streaming is becoming such an integral part, I think, of content creation, of the entertainment business. It's almost like you can't really watch anything without having some kind of subscription service. And I'm not talking about cable. Cable still, every now and then, still has a heavy hitter to compete with. I mean, these streaming services don't have news, right? So obviously that's something that constantly going to be competing with because people will need news. That's a whole other fucking subject though. I mean, because you have people that want the news for free. They don't want to pay for cable to get their news. And, you know, New York Times, AP News, stuff like that, Wired, they all have subscription services that you have to buy. Of course, there are certain websites that you can use to get past those subscription services to read the news, but it's, you know, news is integral to our life. And wow, I've gone so far off what I was supposed to be talking about. But news is integral to our lives, and you can't go day to day without getting some form of news. Your Facebook feed is full of news. What you consider news would be your friends sending you update. That's news because that's news to you, right? Anything political is news. Anything regarding entertainment, celebrities, drama, gossip, you know, scandals, like that is all news. Police reports, news. But the people want that for free. I mean, you know, like newspapers used to cost like, what, 25 cents, 5 cents or something. You know, the internet totally changed the landscape of news. I mean, here I am talking about the news for free on this podcast, right? It's really wild when you dig into the history of news and, you know, how the FCC has really changed the landscape of how people report news, how people receive news, the news that's being reported. It's definitely do some research on the FCC because it is very, very interesting. Another interesting thing that has been going on is how I think so many people now are playing older games compared to newer ones. Obviously, things like Fortnite and Warzone are still being played heavily, but, you know, it's like when the Fallout TV series came out, I know I wasn't the only one to go rush to play Fallout 3, Fallout 4, you know, an older game. I mean, Fallout 3 is one of my favorite Fallouts, and I'm having a blast playing through it. I'm so happy that the TV series came out really well, and I'm happy that that Fallout 3, honestly, it's still holding up, and it still looks good, it still plays good. Like, props to Bethesda for making that game, because I do truly love it. But I do think there's this, like, wave of nostalgia happening. I mean, personally, for me, I blame Class of '09 because I played that 2023 and early 2024, and it just brought back a lot of memories of, like, you know, games from that time period, music from that time period, you know? I mean, like, I was a child in '09, I was 10 years old, and I think that was, like, peak years of entertainment, because, I mean, you had the original Teen Titans series, right? You had Ben 10, I was obsessed with the Ben 10 series, I still am, I still fucking love Ben 10. You know, that was the golden years of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And fucking Bakugan was going on. Like, Beyblade? Dude. Oh my god, what a time to be a kid. Yeah, I'm seeing people play more and more old games, and at least on my YouTube feed, like, I'm getting videos for GTA 4. I'm getting videos that are being made today for, like, Black Ops 2, you know, and they're getting maybe not millions, but thousands and thousands of views, or up to like 80K. Like, it's something people still want to see and watch, are these old games, these they want to live their elementary and middle school, you know, memories. It's that nostalgia that's having a kind of a renaissance, I guess. Now, I don't know if the same could be said for, like, old movies or TV shows. I mean, I'm not saying, like, movies made now are way better than the ones back then. Like, I think the quality of which we make movies has greatly improved, but that doesn't mean the quality of the movies being put out is better. You know, I mean, the summer of '89 or something, like, that's one of the best... That's considered one of the best box offices, like, of all time. Not even in terms of how much the movies made, just the movies that came out were so influential and had such an impact in culture, in entertainment, you know. I mean, it's interesting to look back at stuff like that, I think. And on that note, I think we're going to have to cut the episode short today. I'm so sorry for giving you guys half of what we normally do, but that's how it's going to have to be, baby. In typical BuzzBait fashion, I'm going to ask a question. I'm still asking the question, and I'll give my response as well, but I would love to see your guys' response to this because I don't have Colin and Megan to ask, so I am asking you, the audience, what white people songs are you sick of hearing? Now, when I say white people songs, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Journey, Zac Brown Band, you know, the one song that's like Dance Monkey or whatever, like that's white people music. I'm sure if you were to... Sweet Caroline, that's a white people song, classic white people song. If you have Spotify or Apple Music or any access to the internet, if you look up a playlist called white people songs or songs that get white people turned, you will find the songs that I am talking about. Now, I hear these songs on a near daily basis, not only because I am a white people, but working in retail means you hear those songs non-fucking stop, right? So I got a lot of white people songs that I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing. Me personally, Sweet Caroline, we gotta get that out of rotation. That song has been played over and over and over and over again. What we need to get in rotation is more ABBA. More ABBA needs to come in, get Sweet Caroline out, get, you know, Don't Stop Believin', get that the fuck out. I think we just need more disco, truthfully. Disco needs to make a hard comeback. It's already been, you know, in the mainstream music, it has been coming back a little bit, but we need discos open again. We need to dance. Put your phones away and start fucking dancing. On that note, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I'm sorry that it was cut a little short and that it was quite controversial. I'm not afraid of getting controversial. I really don't give a fuck. But I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions and stances on things that I have mentioned in the podcast. So on that note, keep it old school.